Okie dokie, boys and girls, it is day 23 of Calisthenics Endurance, and today I'm going back to my old training routine, in an attempt to kind of deload, but also restructure my training. I'm going back to the routine from the calisthenics bulk that I love, and if you watched the calisthenics bulk, you will know I made great gains with it. But today I want to talk about, what is this routine, what are the advantages, and also there is a single disadvantage in my opinion. So that's what I'll talk about. And so the routine is very simple. You have basically 4 days which you do on repeat. If you want, you can have a rest day in between. I didn't do it because, well, the great thing about it is you have 4 days, 4 different days. And so in between every training, you have 3 days to recover from that single training, right? So the routine is very simple. For example, you start with a pull day for your upper body. Then the next day, you will do a push day for your lower body. Then you will do another upper body day, but this time it's push. And then finally, you will finish with a pull day for your legs. And this comes down to basically if you're doing push ups, right, you have a push up day. Then the next day, you have hamstrings. The day after, you have pull ups. And then the day after, you have quadriceps, right? And you just repeat this. And I made gradients doing this, so I figured I would go back because there is one main advantage to this routine, in my opinion, and that is the fact that you're not trying to squeeze everything into a single week. So oftentimes, what I find if I try to squeeze my routine into a single week is, well, if I want to train something twice a week, then on one half of the week I will have 3 rest days in between, but then on the second half it will only be 2 rest days. And I find it difficult to manage that way. I find that oftentimes my recovery starts to lack. I start to do too much. And so in this way, you don't really have that problem. You always have 3 rest days in between a single training. Plus, because you're doing half upper body, half lower body, it's a good balance. Oftentimes, I find, for example, with push pull legs, when you're doing push pull, you have 2 upper body days and then you have 1 leg day. And so it's a bit less balanced, but also you're trying to squeeze everything into that 1 leg day. And it's way too heavy, right? You're trying to do hamstrings, you're trying to do quadriceps, it takes way too long. It might be good mental training, but for me, to keep things balanced, I like it when I can start fresh for hamstrings and then start fresh for quadriceps on another day, right? If I do them in the same day, I will do hamstrings first and then I will start kind of tired already on the quadriceps or vice versa. And so that's kind of a disadvantage to me. And so this way, it helps me to manage recovery. It helps me to manage upper and lower body. And yeah, that's why I quite like it quite a lot. And so today's day is gonna be the pull day for lower body. I'm gonna do hamstrings, and it's very simple. On most of the workouts, I keep it like around half an hour. I would say today I'm doing 5 sets of hamstrings. That's gonna be it. And on a push day, I might do a little bit more. On a pull day, I might do a little bit more, or on the quadriceps, I don't know. But usually the workouts are kind of short and then kind of intense as well. So that's what I'm gonna do. And yeah, let's get to it. Alrighty, that's set number 1 done. Today I'm aiming for 5 sets of 3 reps of the Nordics. You might be asking yourself why this specific number, and well, the reason is because 5 sets feels like decent volume to me, and 3 reps for 5 sets feels like something feasible, something reachable. Today is the first day getting back into the old routine. I don't have to do anything crazy. In fact, this routine is about not doing anything crazy. It's just about doing the workouts day in, day out, going along with the cycle, push, pull, push, upper and lower body, right? Cycling through the workouts consistently, and as you go along, just try to do a little bit better every time. So perhaps today I'm only doing 5 sets of 3 reps, but next time I might push it to 4 reps on the last sit or something. That's something I don't really think about at the moment, but it's something I will think about next time. Next time I will look back on this workout and think, hey, how can I make it better? And as long as you're doing that, you're making progress, you're gonna get stronger, you're gonna build muscle, and yeah, become more fit, reach your goals in general. So, 4 more sets, let's go. Okie dokie, so that's it for today's training. And well, finally, let's talk about one disadvantage, in my opinion, of this routine because, yeah, I think it's only the only disadvantage I can come up with. And that is you're rotating your exercises, but it doesn't match up in the week. You don't have a set day for a certain workout. For example, Monday could be your push day, but then the next week it will be Tuesday because you have 8 days to rotate, so to speak, right? Instead of 7. Or you have 4 days to rotate, but if you rotate twice, that's 8 days. And that's why it always kind of moves around, right? So perhaps if you like a certain routine or if you want predictability, right, you always want to do the same workout on the same day. It doesn't happen with this routine. And so, one time it will be legs in the weekend, another time it will be upper body. And, for me in my case, at the moment, I don't care, right? Most of my workouts are about the same length. And it's really only a disadvantage when you add in running, right? Let's say on your leg day, you do a long run and then you require more time. Well, sometimes it's going to be in the weekend. That's great. But sometimes it's going to fall during a week, a work week. And then, well, perhaps you have less time and it doesn't quite match your schedule. So that's kind of a disadvantage of this routine. But if you are not particularly focused on one workout that is way longer than the rest, and most of your workouts are the same length, then I think it's just a matter of getting used to it. Because if all of your workouts take an hour, so to say, right, it might be less, it might be more, I don't know. But if you spend the same amount of time every day on your workout, no matter which body part you're training, it doesn't matter. You have 1 hour to spend, and the way you spend it is just different. So yeah, it might be one disadvantage. If you are spending more time on a certain workout, then you want predictability. You want to do it on the same day every week. I get that. And that's kind of the disadvantage of this routine. But other than that, the fact that push and pull workouts are balanced, the fact that you can, split your leg workout, the fact that you don't have a huge leg day workout where you're way tired than every other workout, the fact that you can train both of those body parts in your leg freshly, right? I think is a huge advantage, especially, in calisthenics. If your legs are weak, you wanna kind of give them attention, right? I think this is a great routine. And yeah, other than that, like the recovery as well, I think there's a lot of advantages to this routine, and that's why I'm gonna try it again for a while. So let's see what happens. I'll see you tomorrow for, well, today was hamstrings, so tomorrow will be a pull day for upper body.